Hello everyone, my name is Ishbin Brian, and if you're here, it's because you want to learn how to Datamosh, which is essentially blending pixels from one clip into the other clip. A lot of people think it's a problem with their bandwidth or the video they're watching, but it's actually a creative choice. You may have seen it in A$AP Rocky's Lamborghini music video or even some of mine, but I'm going to show you the cleanest and fastest way that I've discovered over the many years of editing how to do it. If you like what you see, please comment, like, subscribe so I know to make these types of videos in the future. And you can follow me on Instagram here, and if you see anything on there that you like, just let me know. Maybe I'll make a tutorial on it. But let's get to it. So this effect is basically created from a software that's completely free to download. So I'll show you how to download that first. I'm going to put a link in my description, but all you have to do is go to augustuspatch.com here. And there's going to be a lot of different things on this screen. It's going to be kind of teaching you how to use it, but all you got to do is scroll down towards the bottom here. Above the donate, you'll see this click here. It's not very clear of how to download this, but all you got to do is click on this. It's going to open up a Google Drive. Just make sure you download everything in that drive, and then you're going to open up the application. All right, so now we're going to open up our Datamosh software. So I just type in Datamosh at the bottom here and find datamoshstudio.exe. Open it up, and you got yourself the software, just like that. And before you get started, you're going to want to create a blank folder on your desktop or wherever you're going to be saving this. Datamosh Studio does not like a folder to be used that has any other type of content in it. So make sure your folder is completely empty, just like that. And I brought the two clips onto the desktop here, 4 and 5, that I want to basically bleed the pixels from 4 into clip 5. Perfect. So I'm going to go to create a new project, and I'm going to find that folder, Datamosh 1, that's empty. Go ahead and select it, and then it's going to open up this box here where it has a lot of these things filled out for you. Iframe spacing is 100, bitrate is 20,000, which is okay, to just leave it like that. And then width, depending on what you shot your video in, you want to match those coordinates. So 1920 by 1080. It's most likely what I shot in. I can check it by right-clicking my clip, going to Properties, going to Details, and I can see 1920 by 1080, and mine is 29.97 frames a second. All right, and then we get to frame rate. I found that 24 frames per second is the best because I have the least amount of issues with it. Even though I shot these clips in 29.97 frames per second. I tend to just leave it 24. You can play around with it to try to get a different look, but I'm going to keep it 24 frames per second and hit save. So it kind of matches. If you want to play around with the frames per second, it adds for different looks. So, you can go 24 frames per second, 60, no matter what you do, you'll get a weird look. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now this is what our software looks like. Pretty basic. It's pretty user-friendly, but we don't have anything in it yet. So I'm going to start off by going to Import Video, going to my desktop here, and selecting... Oh, see, I can't actually find it because it's searching for AVI right now, and my video's in MP4 format. So depending on what your video format is, you're going to have to select that here before we freak out and can't find it. Mine's an MP4, so I would choose it right here. So there's number 4. I'm going to open it up, and it's going to populate it into here. I wait till this says saved timeline data before I do anything. Just so you know, the software is a little bit slow, so if you get ahead of it, it might cause some issues. So just take your time, let the software do its thing, but once it says save timeline data, every time you do something, you know it's working. So now I want to import my second video, so I'm going to go to Import Video again, and again, I got to change this from AVI to an MP4. And then select my MP4, which is clip 5 here, open that up, and now it's doing its magic. And I, again, wait till it says save to timeline data. There we go. So now, both of our clips are up here. You're going to go down to add snippet down here. There's a video box. You want to change that to your first video that you plan on importing. So I want my pixels to bleed from clip 4 into clip 5. It just plays it for you there so you can see the sample of it. And right here you can see the end frame is 103. So your start frame is going to be 0, of course, and your end frame is going to be the very last frame of your video there. So mine is 103. And now it's saved to timeline data again, which is awesome. So then it says delete iframes here. Just so you know, it's basically going to be taking the iframes from your first clip and bleeding them into the second clip. So you do not want to delete iframes from your first clip. Any clip after your first one, you do want to check this box. But for the first one, remember it's important not to check the box. And then just hit insert. And now you can see it moved over here to the timeline. And I wait for this to say save timeline data again because I do not want to get ahead of the software. Perfect. Clip 4 is done. So now we're going to change this to clip 5, which is my second clip. So now that my second clip is in, I can see that the end frame is actually 130. So your start frame is still going to be 0, but your end frame is going to be 130 this time. And remember what I said before, any clip after the first clip that you imported into the timeline, you will have to check the checkbox. So it's important to check that little box. I'm going to hit insert. And you can see now that my 2 clips are in here, 4 and 5. Now it's pretty easy. All you got to do is go to beginning iframe. Where are we taking these iframes from? We're taking them from clip 4, the first clip that you have imported. So we're going to select clip 4. I am not going to get ahead of the software again, so I'm going to wait for it to say save timeline data. Perfect. And then all you have to do is go to export and choose export. And there we go. It says exported project. It's not actually exporting it onto your computer or anything. It's basically doing the data moshing for you. Now you have to save that export somewhere. Again, I waited for save timeline data to appear there. So now you're going to click on export again, go to copy to. So now you're choosing a folder for it to copy to. I can just find my Datamosh folder right here, and I can hit open, and I want to save it in here. So I'm going to name these Datamoshed so I can find that easy later. Hit save, and now it's going to save that into there. I'm going to check the folder, Datamosh 1, and when we play back the clip, and sometimes data moshing can be totally unpredictable, so I had no idea that we were going to go into this cactus, and then you would see the cactus here, and this arm would stay on the floor, which is a pretty cool effect. In this one, he just kind of busts through, and part of the pixels are like almost 3D staying on the desert floor and some of these plants here. Let me replay that part. It's crazy how it works. So with data moshing, you can mess around with the frames per second, but be experimental with it and tag me, show me your content. I'd love to see it. If you did think this video was helpful, please comment, like, subscribe so I know to keep making these types of videos. Follow the Instagram to see more of my work, and good luck.